And I am going to just put myself live also on Instagram. Hello and happy Friday. It's Friday. Oh my gosh, have we had 9 or 10 weeks of quarantine? I don't know. It seems like the days they're all just blending into one another. But I'm always super happy to be here with you, and I hope you are feeling well. I'm just going to give you a moment to settle in, a moment to join me, a moment to take a break out of your busy day. I'm coming to you. Is it already 1:30? Where did the time go? I just finished an interview, so I kind of lost track of time. And I'm just loving that I'm coming to you live, because it's this connection with you that just makes me feel like, oh, there's so much love here, so much love present. But I know that that is not typically the way you might be feeling thanks to this COVID virus. Anyway, the little homework for you, if you could just let me know that you can hear me, give me a thumbs up or say sound is good in the comments. I would also really love to know where you're listening from. Perhaps you're listening from South Africa, where we have lots of listeners, Germany, the UK, Australia, the United States. I would just love to know where your little ears are listening from. And also, if you are listening on replay, you could let me know the replay. So, who is listening? Oh, it's so fun. I would love to have you just jump right in and send me as many comments as you like. The more hearts I get and the more listeners, maybe tag somebody to have a listen in while you are listening to this. That would be awesome. Okay, so if you're Canadian, you're actually facing the long weekend. And when I say facing, I mean, because it's different now. We're in quarantine, and who knows how we're going to celebrate. Typically what Canadians do is, and let's just make a little check here and see, Orangeville, hey, hello. Hi, Sherry. Nice to have everybody with me. So typically what happens is the May long weekend, which is the one coming up, is we begin to launch or celebrate the beginning of the summer. Lots of weekends at the pool, lots of weekends at the cottage. And we can't really do that because we are still under quarantine rules, where it's going to change things very much, change how we celebrate, how we get together, how we gather. Now, for me, I like to think of celebrations like the long weekend as kickoffs to mark events the way we do any type of holiday. And I like to think of it as a positive thing, and it should be. But it is going to be very different because we aren't allowed to be gathering the same way that we normally do, and we're not going to be able to really congregate with family members, friends, or neighbors. However, I would say that the human spirit is always going to persevere. And why I say that is because even in the darkest of times, we can find ways to celebrate. And the celebration really comes as an expression from your heart. It doesn't have to feel as if you're facing something horrific. And I can think of a time where my mother shared with me during the time when she was living in Holland, and they were living in poverty because of what was happening in Europe during World War II. She said that their celebrations were still with the family, the happiest times when they could light a candle and they could take even the grimmest of meals, like she did actually eat boiled tulips and toast, and sing and share and just tell good stories. So the togetherness part of it, that was different than we're going to have right now. But she said that even in the darkest times, you could still celebrate. And then it was also true that, say, in one of the darkest chapters of human history during the Holocaust, those people who were incarcerated in concentration camps also found ways to celebrate. They gathered threads from clothing, and they gathered grease and fat from food scraps and created little candles and lit them, just so that the light could feel as a beacon of hope. And I'm going to put it out there to you that we can actually be hopeful about this long weekend and this celebration. Sure, we're going to do it differently, but if we can practice something that I think is a very positive aspect of our wellness, and I talk about this in my 3 E's of Wellness program, I'd like you to practice gratitude. It's a thing that is so powerful that it can shift your energy from stuck and dark and sad and depressed almost immediately. All you have to do is write down or say out loud to another person 5 things that you're grateful for. And if you want to go the extra mile, make it 10. And I'm sure you can come up with 10 things that you're grateful for. I'm 100% sure you can. I can. Even though I'm quarantined, I can still think of things that I'm happy about, and I practice that gratitude. And immediately what happens is your energy shifts to a higher place. And that's fantastic. And you can do it. It doesn't cost anything. It's amazing. And you know what makes it shift even higher is if you can do something nice, an act of kindness with no expectation of receiving anything in return. Now your energy skyrockets. Your heart actually swells. It grows, and then it sends all that good extra nutrients to your brain, and you get this rush of feel-good neurochemicals called dopamine and serotonin, and nitric oxide just plumps your brain with oxygen and you feel fantastic. So I would encourage you to think of a way that you can practice a random act of kindness. Maybe there's someone who's living alone who has no ability to go out and get even a flower or a lovely meal for themselves. I encourage you to give that a try this long weekend. The other thing I do want to say is, let's say you are going to the cottage. You know how it is. You want to gather around the bonfire. You want to have a barbecue. I think you can still do those things. You just do them in the new environment where you practice the social distancing, but you still transmit that open heart full of love to the people who are around or near you. Because when we do come together as a circle, even if there's 6 feet between us, that energy will still come out of your heart. It's an aura. It's an energetic transmission